Thank you.
So I'm really happy to be here with you today. And my topic today is related to gamification because I am very passionate for technology, like Rob said. And I am also the president of Health Honduras CISO, and we're promoting technology in Honduras. So let me start by telling you that gamification is not that complicated. And today we're going to learn about how important it is in the language classroom, how it benefits the learners, some of the challenges that you can encounter when using technology in the classroom related to video games, and then some types of games that you can use, and then one particular game that I have used, which is trace effects, and then how you can take it beyond what's out there. Because normally we have things there that work for us, but we should allow our learners to take it beyond. We bring things and facilitate things for them in the classroom, but then we also need to let them take their learning in their own hands and take it beyond what we bring for them into the classroom. So we need to understand that technology and games should be something that help you in the classroom and not that hinder the learning process. It should be something that gets your students engaged and empowered, and it should not be something to use just for the sake of using technology, or just because you want to say, oh, I'm using video games in the classroom just for the sake of using the video game and just having your students sitting there and playing without a purpose. It needs to be a process with a purpose that leads your students to gain perspectives and insights on a particular topic. And we need to search for video games that provide with us information that is valid and reliable, and also that they can use in the classroom, but they can also take it outside of the classroom. So it can be a process that is a learning, ongoing process. So how do the learners benefit from this? Well, especially at young ages, they're interested in video games for many reasons. But I have found that not only young learners are interested in video games, but also young adults. So it is something that is engaging for them and gets them talking and gets them thinking. And interestingly, it brings critical thinking into the game of learning. So it is something that you really want to use because it benefits that process of higher order level thinking. And it's also a way to experience English in different ways and in different contexts, and understand the value of learning English, not just for the purpose of saying hello or ordering food in a restaurant or going to the bank, but it also provides a context where learners are using English for more than the things that come in the textbook. So it helps them become independent long life learners because they finally get the idea that English is much more than what they see in the textbook. So those are the benefits that I have found in my experience of using video games in the classroom with my students. Some of the challenges are, and for our Latin American countries, and especially for us in Honduras, in our public context, in public schools, are the internet connections. So sometimes the materials need to be downloaded, and then teachers need to be very careful when they do that and follow a process. And if they're not IT oriented, get help from somebody who is. And then access to enough devices. Sometimes in the classroom, in a public school classroom, you will have one computer for 60 students or more. And then you need to be able to be creative when it comes to that. And also initial buy-in. So some students might say, why are we using video games? How are we going to learn using video games? So the solutions that I usually come up with when I have these challenges are, you need to plan carefully, and you need to visualize ahead of time the potential problems that you will have. As with everything, as with every tool that you use in the classroom, there is a learning curve, and every experience will be different. So my experiences are not going to be the same as yours. And then you need to be careful when planning this use of this tool in your classroom. Another thing to consider is that there are varied possibilities of games around. So I got some screenshots from the Facebook games, and all of them can give you insights and perspectives on different topics. For example, Farmville, you can talk about agriculture and produce. Then you have Cityville, which gives you topics related to architecture and building and construction. And then you have the ones related to the water, and then you have restaurants. So there are different games out there. there that can give you a variety of topics that can really help you bring different topics into the classroom and make it an engaging thing to do with your students. Particularly, I want to talk to you about the experience that I had with TraceFX. So TraceFX is a game that was designed by the U.S. Department of State, especially led by Rick Rosenberg, which is the Relo based in Panama. And the audience that this game was intended for was for teens 12 to 16. But no problem, because this can be used with an older audience. I have tried it, and it really works. And what I really like about TraceFX is that it is not a very complex video game. It is very simple. The graphics are really simple. And there's a trailer online if you want to take a look at it. It's collaborative, so many students can play the game together. And it uses English, and it gives you the pragmatics of the language. So it allows learners to understand that whenever you use certain words or you say certain things, people are going to respond in a certain manner. And it also gives students insights on discovering U.S. society and the culture associated to the language, which is something that we usually teach in the classroom. What does the game have? Well, it's related to several topics related to community service, the environment, women's leadership, science and innovation, and international understanding. And it occurs in 5 different cities in the United States, which is in 5 different regions, which is the American Midwest, New York City, San Francisco, New Orleans, and Washington. What I have done with the game is use it to enhance the writing skills. So we use them to write journals. And if you want, I can send you an idea and a template of how to plan those lessons, and also use them for the speaking part. So after they finish a unit or a chapter of the video, what I have them do is talk about what they found, what they understood, and then how to contrast this with their own cultures. Because it's not only a matter of teaching them about U.S. culture, but it's also teaching them what did they learn about U.S. culture and how did this compares and contrasts with their own culture. So we're doing both things. We're searching for national identity, but then we're also looking into the culture of the language that they are learning. And then finally, I like to take it further. So I have my students create their own game about their country, and probably not a video game. Now with apps, it's a little bit easier, but we do it in short stories, or we do it in templates or in PowerPoint presentations. And I have them use the basis of TraceFX to create a game about their own country. And then to portray what things of Honduras, or in my case, the university I worked for was with students from all over Latin America. So they had a chance of coming up with PowerPoint presentations or ideas from all over Latin America, and then displaying what do they want people to learn from their country, and also coming up with topics particular to the countries, maybe politics, maybe economics, maybe the media. And then, is there a limit? No, there are no limits. Creativity will take your students anywhere, and you should not put limits to your students. Like somebody said, I think Natalia said this, we're learning constantly from our students. So take the chance and learn from your students, and thank you for having me today.